What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host Vernon. This is Boxcar Cove. Let's fish that. Alright, ladies and gents, we're back out here to see if we can get some bass. Yes, this is going to be another bass video. Spring, of course, is the best time for us bank anglers to find bass, so I'm going to do quite a lot of bass videos. And I'm going to start sounding like a broken record, because once again, I want to remind you that this is a pretty good time to be releasing these fish. These are the future of our fisheries. Once you catch a fish, take the picture, get it back into the water. It's very important for them to do their spawn so we can get some new fish in the waters. Now, my normal go-to bait for trying to find these fish would be something like shaky head or little Ned rig. I have that with me today, but I'm not going to use that. That's going to be a last resort type of thing. I'm rather going to try some lures I haven't tried before, see if I can get some interest out of the fish. If not, we can swap to the old trusties. So let's get to fishing. Alright, so rather than going to the side I always go to, I'm going to make my way to a different side. We're going to be walking around quite a lot, trying to see if we can find fish. Here in between the little reeds there, I can already see some carp. We're not targeting them, so I'm going to be looking for some bass. Now, my initial idea was to use a little drop shot rig. I got some drop shot hooks, but like an idiot, I forgot to bring any lures for the drop shot. Tried this little plastic thing, but that floats sideways. It's not upside down, so it's not working that well. So rather than using a little drop shot, maybe I'll try some worms or something on this rod. But on my second rod, I want to try something different. I'm going to be throwing around some bluegill patterns. Bluegill patterns tend to work during spring because these bass, they know that these bluegill are going to mess around with their beds, so they chase them around quite a lot. Maybe some of the bass will get agitated, maybe attack this little thing. So I'm going to throw that around for a while, then go to some bottom lures, move around quite a lot, see if we get any fish. Now this is of course a rather sizable little bluegill I'm throwing, so if we do get a fish on this, it should be a decent one. Just had a little bass follow this lure of mine, but that bass is only slightly bigger than the lure, so I don't think it will be able to go for it. The general idea of this is I'm throwing it around, seeing if I can get anything coming towards it. I'm moving it very slowly. Typically you want this thing down on the bottom, kind of imitating a little fish going for eggs or something. But I'm first going to start off a bit higher in the water column. I'm afraid of losing this little lure. I only have the one, so if we go to the bottom directly, we might get snagged and lose it. So I'm first fishing higher up in the water column, then I'll get more risky and go down towards the bottom. Alright, so far only I've seen one little bass follow my lure and seen quite a lot of carp. So I'm thinking maybe we need to walk around, find a spot that looks a little bit more bassy. Alright, so when I said I was looking for a place that's a little bit more bassy, this is something that I was referring to. We are off of the main lake in a little finger running in. It's a bit more shallow flat. Great place for the fish to be making beds. And we do have some structure to hide in. If you think about it, if you have wind and stuff, this little cove is going to be a lot more protected than the main lake. So this is typically what I would be looking for to try and find some fish. Now the problem is, at the moment, I'm only seeing some shad and some carp, not seeing any bass in this little cove. That tells me that in this particular spot, the water temperatures aren't ideal yet, so the fish will be into deep water at the moment. So I'm going to have to try and find some spots where I can maybe get into some deeper water, seeing as they're not up shallow yet. All right, ladies and gents, spent the entire morning on that bank over there, fished that entire area, walking around, seeing if I can find fish. Now we got that one little bass that was following us, following that lure near those reeds, and I've managed to see one large smallmouth and one very large bigmouth bass. But so far, nothing chasing my lures, nothing going for my lures. For that reason, leaving that bank, moving over, going to be fishing this side, walking around a bit, seeing if I can't see any fish anywhere, making some casts. Now I am also changing my setups again, going back to the little drop shot. I don't have any more shaky heads, but we do have the little shaky worms. It's going to be drop shotting the little robo worms. We'll see if any bass will go for little moving worms. And rather than having the big bluegill, seeing how it's midday already, swapping over to a little crawl imitation, little jig head with a crawl. I'm going to throw that out there, see if we get anything maybe going for some crawl patterns. All right, ladies and gents, it's taken quite a couple of hours, but finally, he just spat it. It was a smallmouth bass. Almost had him on a little drop shot rig, but he spat it out at the last moment. Well, almost had one, so let's try again. Alright, ladies and gents, swapped back over to a little Ned rig. Finally got a fish. Just want to make my way down to the water. These fish are cruising around, they're not on beds or anything, so you have to go looking for the fish. Lots of walking. Just want to try and keep this fish down so he doesn't jump. Still has lots of energy left. But there we are, fish landed. Hours of trying, finally got one. A little Ned rig right on the top of the mouth. Tried with all sorts of different lures. Happy to finally get a fish at least. Quickly get him some oxygen. So, lovely little smallmouth, about a pound or so. Happy to get a fish on the board for today. Gonna let him go so he can go back down. Happy to get a smallmouth. Been trying with all sorts of lures, hiking around quite a lot. Happy to get a fish at least. Alright, ladies and gents, a lot of walking today, a lot of casting for one fish. Now, a week ago we had some good luck with bass on beds, and even though it's the same lake, different location, I don't think the fish are on beds in this location. So even though it's the same lake, it's a bit different in the water temperatures. That determines when these fish are ready. But I think soon these fish are patrolling, looking for the right spot. I think soon they're going to be staging on beds. And while we're on this subject, I recently got asked the question, why am I not more excited when I catch fish? I don't freak out, I try and stay calm. And you need to understand, like today, the first fish I hooked, I didn't do a proper hook set. I was busy trying to get the camera working and everything. Didn't do a proper hook set, lost the first fish. And to me, it's kind of the same with getting all excited and hyped over a fish. A few times now, I've lost fish doing that. So I try to stay calm and focus on what it is I'm supposed to be doing. That is why I don't seem as hyped. But do believe me when I say that I do appreciate fish. As an angler, getting one fish a day, that makes me happy at least. Spending all this time out there, walking for miles, making many casts, getting one fish, it makes it worth it. But at the end of the day, I am also a content creator, and as a content creator, one fish makes the entire trip. Driving all the way out here, doing all the trouble getting the footage, one fish makes the video worthwhile to upload. And if you want to get a lot more philosophical, I do these videos because I know there's lots of people, and I think of people that I grew up with, people that went to school with me, or people that I don't even know back in South Africa that don't get the opportunity to go fishing. And in a way, these videos are a certain way for them to fish through me, even though I do know a lot of South Africans don't even have internet or electricity, so they're not always watching my videos, but at least I feel like I'm uploading these videos for them as well as sharing my stories with some of the local guys. Maybe if you try and do what I do, you might get lucky, get on some fish. Now, why am I telling you all this? I'm trying to show you that I do appreciate the fish I do catch, even though I didn't get very excited about that one smallmouth bass today. I want to explain that that fish means a lot to me, and just to kind of show that to you guys, this might be the last time that I'm fishing here at Boxcar Cove. So at least getting that one fish makes it all the more sweeter, and that is why I'm only stopping one fish. I am happy with my last fish here at Boxcar Cove being a nice smallmouth bass. Now, no need to get panicked, still have lots of time left. However, I still have some other spots I want to try and fish, so I do think it might be the last time that I'm fishing here at Boxcar Cove, and I feel it's a good way to end it off. The point I'm trying to make, I do appreciate the fish, and I do really appreciate it when you guys watch me catch the fish. That's why I always say thank you for watching. And just like that, we get to the end of the video. So please do subscribe if you haven't done so already, to give me a little thumbs up for catching that fish. And feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments. And once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.